Welcome to the Payments Ecosystem podcast, where we unravel the intricate web of online payments and explore passions of the industry's biggest minds. In today's episode, we are thrilled to have Shweta Singh, Assistant Manager Growth, and Megha Vijay, Associate Director of Product Marketing, as our guests. We'll dive into what it means to be a young and dynamic person making waves in the world of digital finance. Together, Shweta and Megha will share insights on innovation, adaptability, and the challenges they've overcome in their exciting careers. I'm really looking forward to this conversation as we uncover secrets behind their success and celebrate the youthful spirit driving the payments ecosystem forward. Hello, Megha. Hello, Shweta. Welcome to the Payments Ecosystem podcast. How are you doing?
Hello,
Hey
Shiladitya.
Shiladitya, doing very fine. Doing fine. How are you?
Doing well, thank you, and thank you for both of you to on being with us today. We have, of course, been doing this series as part of our explanation of what the payment ecosystem is all about, and of course, heard from so many of your colleagues at Cashfree in the course of this doing this podcast. I've really been, I would say, enriched with the kind of conversations I've had. I've really loved interacting with everyone, and I also understand that the team is full of people who are experts in their field, people who are new to the payments ecosystem but doing so much, and of course, really, really passionate about the roles they play. So my first question to either of you is that how long have you been a part of Cash Free, and of course, what brought you to the payments ecosystem? What were you doing? If I can ask you, maybe Shweta first.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It's really a pleasure to be a part of it. So with Cash Free, I'll be completing 2 years in the month of July. Like it's not been long, but my association with Cash Free has been longer than that. My previous organization was using Cash Free PG services, and since then I had a connect. I was actually managing the SME and the enterprise customers and handling them, assisting them with payments automation. So since then, I got to know about the PG offering specifically, what are the flows and all. What attracted me to Cashfree, I think, is the kind of challenge they are solving with the payments for businesses, specifically in India. See, I was very much fascinated with payments as a solution for businesses, and I still am. The thing is, India is like driving global digital economy, but yet knowing that, we see that there's a huge untapped market which is yet to be explored for payments. And by that, with working with that market, I got to know that there are opportunities, and I wanted to understand how payment ecosystem works, how can this market be explored, and how can I contribute to it. So that was the reason I think I decided to come to payments. For Cash Free, what I knew from outside, that it is driven by very young minded people who welcome a lot of ideas, and I'm going to get a lot of learning here. So that was my reason.
Thank you for that, Megha. Same question to you.
Well, I'll start with thanking you for getting us on this platform. My association with Cashfree, I'll be completing 5 years here in August month. When I joined, we were 15 people team. So it has been quite a journey since then. I come from finance background. I started off my career with ClearTax, which is again a fintech, and then the next one was Great HR, which is a payroll platform company, again a fintech, and then Cashfree happened. For me, it was in the beginning it was risky. I mean, like you're coming from a company which has already more than 500 people, and then you suddenly come to a company which is 15 people. So
Right.
do you trust it to uh, go on with it? So I had an interesting story. I called up the co-founder of my previous company and I asked them, should I join? And he said, YCS trusted them, so you can as well. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And yeah, I think that was one. I also had my first conversation was with Riju. At that point of time, we did not had any HRs. It was just very like a small team, right? Just 15 people. I was second marketer in the team. And when I talked to Riju, I think what Shweta also mentioned, right? The team was very young. It's young even till date. And there's a lot of, like, you want to be more action oriented. And I wanted to still continue working with companies which move fast. For me, that was very important. So yeah, I think that worked out. Also, one more thing that I noticed during this period of time is whenever you say payments in this whole ecosystem or a payment company, people are
Mhm.
looking at you as a payment gateway, right? Any payment company that I knew, it was all of those. I knew them as payment gateways, but when I had my conversation with Riju, I tried to understand how they are creating a complete ecosystem which does not stop at a payment gateway, helping you collect payments, but also the other side of it, which is disbursals. And over the period of time, the products that we have added to our suite, that has made us helped us create a complete ecosystem which businesses have been able to use. So I think creating the overall ecosystem and being part of it from the very early on, that was what attracted me, and I joined Cashfree.
Wonderful. Just to continue on that, Megha, since you've been part of the early days as well as now, over time, you said uh, you joined as a marketing person right on the team, and you had, of course, a background in finance and a lot of other things. What was expected of you back then, and what was some of the exciting things that you got to do, given that you were pretty much it was an open canvas for you to figure this out.
Yeah. So when I joined, it was a team of 15 people, but we were already profitable. We had been operating for some time. Marketing is something that was looked upon, like, so earlier it was about building the product, taking it to the
Right.
merchants. This is what the early members did really well. The sales team, I would give a lot of credit to them. The product and sales team, they built really strong products. The foundations were great. And then most of it was direct pitches to those businesses. We were yet to be in a stage where we are working on the positioning also, or where we think of how we are taking it to the market, right? So my job when I came here was the product positioning, because at till this point of time, we would have product landing pages, but they were typically just talking about the features, and like how you just sign up, use the feature, and you're done with it. So in the early days, I kind of was acting like an interviewer, where I would sit with the product manager and ask them, what did you build and why did you build it? Sit with the sales team and understand how you're selling it. What are the challenges that your business was earlier facing, and how we are solving those problems. And when you sit with these people who have already, built a product or have sold those solutions, they give you the right insights. There were a lot of customer calls also, which I was a part of, where I would just shadow those calls to understand what is the language the customer is speaking. And according to all of that, like when you bring all of that together, you have your positioning, and that's how we started. So in the beginning, I was doing everything. uh, I would do a YouTube video editing, and I would also like write content, work with the engineers to ship a landing page, work with the product managers to understand what the roadmap is looking like, what kind of launch we are expecting to do, and so on. So yeah, in the initial days, it was definitely about working very closely with the small team that we had, and trying to keep your eyes, ears, and everything open, and trying to absorb all that information and then translate it into positioning and your go to market. So yeah,
Wow.
that's how the early days look like.
Wonderful. Shweta, to you, like you've obviously had a let's I would say shorter stint there, but you've also seen probably very two very formative years for both cash free and the payments ecosystem in general, given the amount of change and rapid change that's happened in the payments ecosystem these past few years. So, from your perspective, I believe you also did roles in customer success and now have moved to the growth team. So what is new? What is, shed some light on your previous role and transition here.
Yeah, so like transitioning from success to growth has been very exciting journey. I would say like both the roles have similar sort of aspects. Both are customer facing. You have to have strong problem solving skills and data analytical skills to help them this is the correct solution. But the thing is, the shift actually has opened up new opportunities for me to find out like what else can be done with the customer to make them achieve even greater success. So with customer success, my role was limited to like I had to ensure that my customer is using my product and they are actually loving my product. They are happy with that product. Beyond that satisfaction, we were not supposed to think. I think that was the limitation. With growth, that we go beyond satisfaction, and even if the customer is okay, we have to dig deep into the requirements basis a kind of merchant profile and help them with other solution to to provide additional value. So I think this is a quite drastic change, and this is really I'm loving this part of like job that I am actually going with that kind with the kind of requirements that I receive now. Even my knowledge is going about the market.
Nice. To elaborate on that a little, I think you've worked with more global firms in the past. In similar roles, I would say. What can you compare a little bit with working here? Working with customer success in India versus overseas customers. Uh, we understand that it's very unique.
Yeah.
Indian customers are very different from international customers, you might say. Do you agree, or what's your view?
Yeah, totally, totally. So, there are some like mixed kind of. I would say like Indian customers are very, I would say, quite ahead in terms of tech savviness as compared to the customers I worked with. Specifically talking about the South African customers here. So, our Indian customers are very tech savvy. Maybe because of you can owe it to the affordability of internet, or you can owe it to like the fact like financial solutions are available, and yeah, the market is filled with financial solutions and technical solutions, and they can actually everyone can look forward to. They have multiple options. They have access to multiple options, right? But uh, when I was working with South African customers, especially in Zimbabwe, I would tell you that internet is still not very much affordable. The individuals are actually not very happy with the technical environment over there. The businesses need a ecosystem like India's, and I would say the real time payments. If I talk about the payments specifically, is quite a hassle over there. uh, they're dependent on wallet payments, and they, unlike in India, we have a lot of payment options. Money is that quick to be received or to be sent. So they had that kind of attitude, and handling those customers is much easier than handling India's, I would say, because their
Mm,
customers
mm.
expectations are also less. They are happy with like money if
Yeah,
coming, not coming in sometime. Here the customers would, if it's not getting in 2 minutes, they are actually calling us and saying that this is not happening. So this is the kind of
yeah.
difference I see.
Yeah, well, of course. I think that's the uniqueness of this the Indian payment ecosystem. All the more, I think we've so rapidly
Yeah,
advanced that expectations of customers have also advanced with that.
yeah,
Coming
yeah,
back to you, Megha. I mean, you you have been part of obviously cash free for so long now, and fintech in general. You said your previous experience also. You were a little bit in fintech. So, tell us a little bit about your experience here. What sets cash free apart from, let's say, other fintech firms? uh, you know what How has it been working with marketing at cash free?
Okay, I would say all my experiences with the previous companies have also been quite positive. In terms of culture, it has been always very encouraging and also giving you the liberty to experiment things, also to fail, but only to learn and do it better. I would say what if I just look at the payment ecosystem and where cash free really sits. I think what I am enjoying the most is the how we are creating different suits of products, looking at what industry we are working with. So take for example, when you look at a product roadmap, you will see certain features which are specific to solving a particular line of business problem. So take for example the lending businesses, right? They are a very, like, if you look at some of the highest regulated businesses, lending comes in that category. And
Right.
whenever these regulations are coming up, our product roadmap uh, just shifts, right? Like you have to act really fast. You have to get your NBFCs and other lending businesses get to the right solution in the right time, help them migrate and everything. So the product roadmap is not stiff, right? Like if you have
Mm.
started, your year planning, you're not going only by that, but you're also adapting really fast, because your payment ecosystem changes really fast, and the businesses you are working with, there, a lot of those businesses will be highly regulated. So you have to keep pace with that also. And then you also have obviously competition. And if you really look at the payments ecosystem, right, there are quite a few players. I mean, and it's a reality. So how do you still maintain your market share? You can do that only by outperforming
Mm.
yourself, and not just in terms of adding those features, but also how reliable you are when you are selling your solutions to enterprises, big businesses who are doing lakhs of transactions, or right, you have to give them a confidence that yes, this is a system that can support your scale. So our product roadmap is, I think, ever evolving, and it keeps up with all the feature changes we need to do, and also how to make the product quite robust. So there's a lot of focus on the businesses that we are working with, and according to that, everything changes, like right from a product roadmap to how, which are the segments that the growth team will focus on, what kind of messaging the marketing team creates. I'll give an example. So we have a solution called payouts, right? So payouts is a API solution that helps you send money to a user. Now when you
Right.
say this to a e-commerce, we say it will help you make payments to your vendors, or it will help you do refunds to your customers. The same product, when we are pitching to a lending company, we will say it will help you do instant payout, instant loan disbursements to a borrower, right? So marketing also changes based on who we are targeting, and so on. So I think we are very customer focused, and also taking action really fast as looking at the environment that we operate in.
So,
So I think, yeah, that's what yeah.
obviously this is because the company is, like you said, evolving fast. There's so many personas that you have to market to. There are so many stakeholders in the ecosystem that your products cater to. So I'm sure you've been very creative with the kind of marketing you've done, or the kind of campaigns you've run, the channels you've used, beyond maybe just the traditional ones. And given that you mentioned earlier that you've been a content creator of sorts yourself, what is your take on that, using content creation, or content creators as a medium for marketing? Like, what is your uh, do they play a bigger role for you in your planning of how you plan campaigns, how you plan your outreach? What's your take on it?
Okay, so I'll first cover the part how important is content in our case, right? So even before someone comes to your platform and signs up, they have already consumed a lot of information about you. It can be your
Mhm.
LinkedIn, social media, it can be your YouTube, it could be an ad that they interacted with, it can be a press release which they had a look at, and so on. So content creation definitely is very important for us. In our case, considering that we're a B2B payments platform, for us the influencer will not be someone who is maybe a big influencer with 5 million users on Instagram.
Hmm.
For us, influencers are different people. So take for example, if we do a webinar with Mastercard, they are the influencers because
Right.
our merchants will listen to them, right? It's not about who has how much following. For us, it is about who is the industry expert. Whenever, let's say, if we are talking about tokenization, then getting someone from a card network like a Mastercard or a Visa, this makes it a lot more meaningful session for our user base. So for us, if we talk about influencers for us are the payment experts, depending on what is your subject matter. But yeah, like when you talk about creating content, for us it has definitely been a very it has been playing a very major role. As I said, right, people are consuming your content at different stages of their overall journey, and it doesn't stop there. You have to even some after someone has started transacting with you, you have to keep them informed, you have to keep them informed as to how they can make the best use of the solution, how do you convert them from a user to a pro user. So yeah, content
Mm.
plays a great role in the entire journey.
And continuing on that, you also have since you've been at the company since the 15 member team days to now, uh, you've obviously must have scaled your operations. You've, I believe, you've done a chef amount of rebranding of sorts also for cash free.
Yeah.
There was some experience of changing your overall value proposition, the website, the logo. Tell us a little bit about how that experience was, and what was the need for that, or how did you get involved in choosing to take the marketing and design in a particular direction?
So when we start, so this was our fifth foundation day. We celebrate our foundation day on 23rd of September, and we were quite close to that. And we had this, so we had this idea. So there was actually, it kind of stemmed from a problem statement. When you see the word cash free, a lot of people just see it as cash free. And in our contact sales form also, we would see people asking you for free loan, right? So we felt that maybe it is misleading, and yeah, Shweta might not have seen those things, but yeah, we saw it in our contact sales form that
I'm
people
sure
would ask, "Give me free loan," or "How do I get free loan?" Right? So I
that's
mean, this
true.
is a small incident, but yeah, we definitely had been in business for 5 years till that point of time. We had our company, a running website, and running brand guideline that was enough to do, like enough to give us a direction in terms of the visual
Hmm.
color, visual brand guideline to follow and so on. But we definitely saw a need that because the products had become stronger, the audience set had changed. We were at this point of time targeting not only the early stage startups but also enterprises, right? So, and you are also sitting between being a agile startup which moves really fast, but also you have to stand out like a smart bank because people are trusting you with your money,
Right.
right? So how do you create an image such that you're retaining the recognition that merchants already have with you, but also coming out and calling out your own brand values louder. So I am reliable, I will help you scale, I am innovative, I will keep up with the changes that are happening in the ecosystem. So the idea was that we don't completely changed the identity. So our brand name moved from cash free to cash free payments because we knew our focus is going to be the overall payments ecosystem. From the design perspective, we went for more modern colors. Earlier, there were a lot of radiants used and so on. We went for completely clean design, which is also how we try to design our products, right? So we went for
Right.
flat iconography. If you look at the cash free logo today, it is a flat iconography, no radiance, nothing. Just tried to create a lot more cleaner and sharper design. And after that, it was about the overall brand guideline, which is how
Got it.
certain how our communication or how our visual language is going to look like on different channels. On website it looks different than if you're on LinkedIn, how the colors should be used and so on. So yeah, it was an overall exercise. It included the logo change, it included the website overall revamp, and also the entire positioning of what Cashfree is all about. Yeah, so
Yeah, this is very interesting. I mean, the fact that you mentioned this customers perceiving the brand name in a certain way is very unique to, of course, again, our, I would say, ecosystem, because of course we've seen lately that there are so many personal loan apps. Lending as a space has just exploded. So I think it was a natural extension of that perception that customers had. So of course, kudos to you and the entire team who worked so hard to do this. You're coming to maybe Shweta, from your perspective, given that you're also customer facing, maybe people have not asked for free cash, but what are some of the quirky things that you've had to encounter, whether in the previous role of customer success or even now as part of growth? Like, what are some quirky parts of the job that most people won't know? I mean, and maybe that's things which are unique to being in the fintech space also. Can you tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so yeah, sure. So basically, the thing that sets us apart, I would say, as Megha also mentioned, that a payments ecosystem is quite dynamic. It's changing very fast, and we have to like one has to be on top of everything. Like today, if I'm saying that everything is smooth, payments are working fine, my market is going good, my customers are happy, all of a sudden I would have some kind of compliances coming in, some sort of new requirements coming in, and I would know that I would have to keep a pace. I have to just run towards them, and we would have to make those changes in our system, in our product, and then informing customers, making the customers make a pace about it. So the thing is, in such kind of highly dynamic environment, the main thing with payments ecosystem is one has to be always active. We cannot just sit back and say, okay, business is going fine. We have to just keep our eyes on all the aspects, on our competitors also, for that matter, that what they are doing. If there is anything that is about to hit to the market, we should be knowing in advance. So that is, I think, very much required. But about cash free, that thing I haven't heard, Megha. That was really a wonderful thing to know. But yes, my customers have come for lot of requirements, but not this. So the thing is, my journey starts when the customer is onboarded, and when the customer needs a payments ecosystem, they want a payment aggregator to be integrated with, and when the customer is onboarded, then only I get in touch. So maybe that's the reason I haven't heard of that.
So, you were sharing how this is a very dynamic sort of a environment, how you have so many things are changing all the time, whether it's regulatory, whether it's from the product side also, whether it's competition. So if I can ask, how do you keep up to date on, what you need to do, what is next, what is coming up in the payments ecosystem? How do you, question to both of you actually, what is it that you look at to make sure that you're always, current on everything that needs to keep going on? So Megha, do you want to take that first?
Sure, yeah. So I think in when we look at cash free and the whole payment ecosystem, there are multiple dimensions to it. First is your regulatory environment. So we have to definitely keep a tab on how things are changing. So take for example, if it is NBFC, so are there any new guidelines coming from from the RBI? Right. If it is insurance business, is there any new guideline that has come from IRDAI, and so on? So you definitely have to keep yourself updated with all the regulatory changes that are happening. Keep a tab on all the press releases that the regulatory bodies are putting it out. Other than that, our Slack general channel also is always quite live with all these feeds. So if anyone, like, it doesn't matter which team you belong to, if you have come across a new piece of information, people share it on Slack, and that's how everyone is consuming it. Right. So in addition to that, the sales team, the people who are actually talking to the merchants, they have an understanding of what are the challenges the businesses are facing, what feature the competitor might already be providing, and uh, how we could solve for a particular problem which a business is facing. In fact, this has actually led to some of the products which are not really in our roadmap. Right. So some of the businesses came up with their own unique operational flow which needed a different payment system, and how that's how new features were released. So yeah, the sales team and the product team also, because they are a lot more in touch with the businesses that we work with, they also pass on a lot of information. So yeah, for us, we have the live feeds coming on our Slack channel. We have to keep a tab on social media also helps, uh, because
Yeah.
you will be always following up all the authorities, you'll also following up your competitor and so on. On the competition end, whenever we are taking an offering to the market, right, we know it for a fact that it will be compared with other solutions available in the market. So we have a standard practice of revisiting our battle cards every quarter. So that also tells us as to what kind of features we are providing, what updates we have made versus what updates the competitor has made, and so on. So that helps us keep us updated.
Okay, great. Shweta, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, so I think, like Megha clearly mentioned, this happen. We need to keep a tab on all the kind of information that we're receiving from regulatory bodies. So they do press release, and we have to be aware. This is a specific MCC, or you say call it line of business. What are the new changes that are coming in? Is it impacting payments? If yes, what are the changes we need to do in our product? So that is something across Kashri all the teams are doing. The best thing I would tell you here is that like the best part is all the synergy among the teams is commendable. So anything that product is working on, they get to know that this is the kind of change. For example, like for lending, we could there is a new compliance that came in that we cannot hold money for any like we cannot be a party holding the money of any sender. Like it has to be passed through directly from one account to another account. We cannot take that money. So with that change, we got to make changes like connected banking dot and this and that, making mandatory for the lending businesses the connected banking platform. So such kind of changes when they come, our product team is like take a call and bring everyone together and then update them that this is the change that happened, and these are the steps that we're taking, and this would have this much impact on these customers, specifically these line of businesses. So this is, I think, keeping all of us updated. This really helps, and apart from that, they are amazed on any change. uh, for competition, I would say that it is like I would say it would be my job for to keep a tab on what competitors are doing and how differently they are doing. What is the USP? This is very much required in my kind of role when I'm interacting with the customers on a daily basis, and they are just highlighting something that this is happening over there. What is your solution? How we are different from the competitors is the USP. I should know about each and every product, and I would have to communicate that to the customer. So that is the
Yeah.
thing.
You've shared, both of you have shared such perspectives that are where there's so much collaboration that happens, sharing of information that happens within the team. Plus you're motivated to obviously stay in touch with what's happening outside, being very aware. What is the part of the from is it a part of the culture that you feel that has been created in the company where you naturally everyone becomes like this, and is that something you might say is what someone needs to have if they're, let's say, aspiring to be part of cash free or even payments ecosystem at large? Is that something you would call out as one of the key talents someone needs to have in terms or qualities someone needs to have to join this place?
I would like to answer this one. So, when
Sure.
you look at cash free core values, right, there are two core values. One is customer obsession, the other one is ownership. When you combine both of these, you have to stay updated with everything, because customer obsession means that you are, always staying updated with what your customer needs are, not just for the present but also for the future. And
Right.
then when you also take a lot of ownership in what you are doing, you will definitely go a step beyond. And we have a ecosystem where everyone is collaborating, so that helps.
No, that's
Yeah,
great to hear.
even I would like to add to that also. Yeah. So even I would like to add to that. Yeah, definitely customer obsession is something I particularly feel that it is not just a team customer success or something that it belongs to the job belongs to them. It's the entire all the teams worked collaboratively and working towards the customer success only. And apart from that, I would say that the new learning, the keeping yourself with pace, always learning kind of attitude is very much required in this specific domain where things are changing. You have to be like always grabbing the new information, whatever changes are happening in the market. So I think that is very much required. Apart from customer obsession, I would say that this is one requirement that you need to have, and also a little bit of versatility. You like you know, you may be a master at something, but you should know what others are doing, because it will help you understand their job and it will help you understand the entire ecosystem. This will bring uniformity everywhere, I think so.
Well, that's very good to hear, I think. And to be honest, I've heard this from so many of your colleagues as well. I think everyone really
Okay.
is able to, make themselves understand the core values like you shared, Megha, and really imbibe them to make it a part of their daily outlook on how they do their job. And it's really, really nice to hear that. So, taking a little bit of a change, while we've been talking so much about work and the kind of culture you have in the company. uh, if I can ask you a little bit more personally, how do you also, how non-work, right? I think that also is something which is so important when it comes to why you are happy at your job, is the fact that it also lets you do uh, what you want to pursue personally, maybe. So I'm going to ask either of you, whether what do you do in your downtime? Do you have a favorite sport? Do you have a favorite movie or a podcast for that matter? um, share a little bit about what you like to pursue outside of work. Megha, you want to go first again?
Sure, yeah. So for me, it's switch on, switch off. After the work day is over, I don't think much work, because that's how I, maintain my sanity. So for me, things that I really enjoy and love, I play lawn tennis. That really is something that, for me, it's kind of meditation. I enjoy running. I try to go to a different, area, so that even if I'm tired, it will take me another 2 hours, 2 kilometers to come back. So that's how I push myself to do
Wow,
more
nice.
kilometers. And I am also into gardening. In my flat, I don't have a villa, I have a flat, and in my flat I have more than 60 plants. So every room
Wow.
has
Oh,
plants.
nice.
And they are my babies, they just keep me sane. And when I'm, taking care of my plants, which I do every single day, in the morning, uh, it I'm not thinking anything else.
Nice.
Just taking care of the plants, it helps me maintain my sanity and makes me fall more in love with the nature. I think that keeps me sane. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. Wow.
Yeah,
Shweta, what
for
about yourself?
Yeah, so for me, I think because my job timings are not specific, it's not like that at 7 my job would be over. So my customers can call me even at 10, even later than that also.
Mm.
So there have been such instances, like when at 12 o'clock we are engaging with the customer and making them understand the kind of situation. So yeah, so sometimes it really gets very stressful, especially because we are very much dependent on the banks and all. So any incident that happens over there impacts us in turn. And then in
Right.
such cases, when everything gets over, I need like either sleep. If it is at night, I want a good sleep. That's all. Otherwise, I love dancing. I really feel that this is one sort of thing. This is one specific uh, play that keeps you very calm and very happy. No matter how stressful you are, if you dance to a song, you would just feel very refreshed. And it really always works for me. Apart from this, I really like to go out for a walk. Like there are so many parks here. I reside in HS Park. It's near my office. So here you will find at least 5 parks in 1 kilometer distance everywhere. So I really like to go out there and just enjoy,
Perks
sit
of
calmly.
living
Wow.
in Bangalore.
That's I think that keeps me
I
at peace.
I was going to say that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, of course.
of
Weather
course.
is
The
always
good
good
weather.
and you have parks.
That's
Yeah,
true.
weather.
That's true.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, of course, of course.
No, I have another interesting question which I've asked a lot of your colleagues, and I think it's unique to understand, why you do what you do. So, Megha, first to you, what if you were not in the payments ecosystem? What would be an alternate universe career for you?
There are two actually. One will
Oh
be an
wow.
event manager. The other one would be a farmer.
Okay, I think you sort of gave us a hint
Of
with
course.
what you shared earlier. Yes.
So my
Okay,
current
Shweta.
job, which is product marketing, is also event management only.
Of course. So it's not so different, but farmer
Yeah,
definitely. I think
yeah,
your post seven taking care of plants is probably how you are living that dream.
yeah.
Great, Shweta.
Yeah, so for me, I think I would have been a counselor if not this. So, like, for me, I'm not sure, like, I haven't tested the limitation, but my friends and family, at least, they are, for any sort of issues or any sort of struggle they are doing in their life, they come to me, and they say like that, they compliment me with this, that I have that magic that I can calm them down and I can make them see the bigger perspective. So I really wanted, I actually started with teaching only, so I actually wanted to go ahead with that line, that I would be doing counseling and all. But then life happened, and I'm here.
Yeah. In some ways, maybe you are still counseling your customers. After all, they also come to you with all their
Yeah,
problems,
yeah,
I
yeah,
believe.
of course. Yes,
Of
yes, of
course.
course.
Great.
Yeah, that's true.
Great. No, that's very interesting, and thank you both for sharing those, interesting tidbits. Sort of concluding not just our conversation, but also the series that we've been doing. We've heard from so many people about so many things that are wonderful about cash free, about this whole ecosystem. It's been so positive, to hear that you all love doing what you do, and there's still so much more left. So what would you say as, yeah, remarks to anyone who's been listening to our show, who's interested in this space, who's interested in maybe working with Cashfree, collaborating, or just, I would say, more interested in playing a part in this overall payment ecosystem? Why should they be a part of this, and what should they look forward to? Just in your own words, again, I would say, Megha, why don't you take it ahead?
Sure. So anyone who would be considering a opportunity with cash free, uh, I would say you should choose cash free because a fintech is where businesses, things are moving really fast, and things are evolving, and what you're doing is impacting not just one business but all the users that particular business has, right? So if there's a particular merchant who has, let's say, 1 lakh customers, so you're not affecting only that one merchant but also that those 1 lakh customers also with the right payments going through. So the impact that you're creating is going to be big. uh, how you can do good at cash free is if you think that it is your own startup, take the ownership and get things done, and you'll do good.
Shweta, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think for payments, anyone who wants to be a part of it, as Megha also mentioned, that it is the impact that is going to be created across the market. So I would say, like uh, about there's still a huge potential, huge untapped market, which is offline, which is yet to become to digital payments, and they have their own kind of reasons why they are not digital. So to bring a change to them, because payments can actually evolve their business. Payment can like maximize their reach. Currently, they are doing business in Ahmedabad, maybe. With payments, anyone from across the world can make order or make use their services and make payments. So payments can actually help their business grow. But to make them understand, I think there are certain, we need to understand that thought also, why they are not into it yet. So to bring that change, I think everyone is working towards it in payments ecosystem, to bring that change, to bring that market to payments, should be the goal. Solving their problems would help creating an impact across the masses. And I think
Hmm.
this is the bigger perspective. Apart from this, the for anyone who wants to join this segment, I would say customer obsession is the must, because customers, we are in business of money movement, okay, and we are handling their money. So anything, any little mistake or any issue can cause a great impact on a customer. So we have to be very like attached to a customer, thinking that this is my money, and then act accordingly. This is,
Yeah.
I think, I would be required to do a business in this line.
Wonderful. No, thank you so much, Shweta. Thank you, Megha, for sharing those points. I think it will only keep inspiring so many more people and all our listeners uh, to do play some part in this payments ecosystem. And of course, knowing how great it is at Cash Free will make it better. So thank you once again to both of you for your time and this lovely conversation. I definitely learned a lot as well, as I do always. So thank you so much. That's all the time we have. All right, that brings us to the end of our journey with the Payments Ecosystem podcast. I've been your host, Shiladitya, and I'm signing off from this final episode. But I hope you've enjoyed the stories, expertise, anecdotes, and so much from the Cash Free team. I really can't wait to come back to you with more. But I want to thank everyone who's been a part of this show, and of course, all of you, our listeners, for joining. And remember, the future of payments is always evolving. So I hope to keep talking about it and hearing and sharing more stories. Thank you.